Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying the new backdrop. I figured I'd actually show a little bit more of the collection than I usually do by going for a new angle with the videos. I've got a pretty special video today for everyone who is a Dead by Daylight fan. Dead by Daylight is a multiplayer horror game. It's on PS4, Xbox, PS5, Nintendo Switch. I'm pretty sure it's on the Android store as well, so you can play it on your phone. And I'm pretty sure it's coming out to next-gen consoles as well, because they're continuing to support all through the next generation by updating the graphics and things like that. This is the cover if you've never seen the game. Although if you're a horror fan, I'd assume you've heard of it. So this came out in, I think it was like 2015 now. It's obviously one of my favourite games. I play it all the time. I've put probably like 1,000+ hours into it because I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's basically just a game where you play against a killer. There's 4 survivors. You repair generators to power up the exit gates and escape. And there's a multitude of different survivors and killers. And the main killer that came out when the game first released is the Trapper. This guy on the cover art here. And today I've got a video review of a mask that was made by Trick or Treat Studios from the Dead by Daylight lane. We've only seen 2 masks from Trick or Treat Studios, Dead by Daylight wise, so I'm not sure whether they're continuing on because I don't know how well they sold. But the masks that we saw were the Trapper, obviously, which I've got here to review, and they made the Doctor as well, which I still need to pick up. The Doctor, I think, looks absolutely amazing, and I think they did a pretty good job with the Trapper. Now, if you were planning on picking up this mask, finally there's a review on YouTube for it, a good review, because I was looking for one for absolutely ages, and there's no reviews of the Trapper or the Doctor as of when I last checked. There may be one now, but this is going to be one of the first on YouTube, so be your first chance to take a look at it in good detail, close up. I'll leave you some high quality shots, maybe some worn shots and outdoor shots, and you can take a look at the mask, see if you want to add it to your collection, and maybe do some Dead by Daylight cosplay. So we'll be back in just a moment where I'll show you some closer up footage of the mask and show you how this thing looks worn, and this thing is incredible. So I'll catch you guys in just a second. Alrighty, so I'm going to give you some closer ups of the paintwork and the detail on this thing. Just so you know, this mask was sculpted by a guy called Eric Labati, who works over at Trick or Treat Studios as one of the sculptors. I apologise if I probably butchered his name. But he's not an artist I've actually got any of the Trick or Treat Studios masks by, so if I did pronounce it wrong, feel free to just let me know in the comments, but it's not really too important anyway. This thing was made in Mexico, and here is the tag. It's got the Dead by Daylight logo, and it says Dead by Daylight. Back of the tag with a barcode and the artist's name, and then the general care instructions of all Trick or Treat Studios masks. So this mask is probably one of my favourites that I've seen Trick or Treat Studios release in recent years. I absolutely love the Trapper. He's one of my favourite killers to play as in Dead by Daylight. There's a few things on this mask that could have improved. I feel like it's not an exact replica of the Trapper, but for, I think it was like $59.99 with £4 postage, you can't really complain too much, because there are some indie artists out there on Etsy who make, you know, really superb replicas of the Dead by Daylight masks. And this, if you're on a budget, you know, for Halloween or like a general cosplay, you could pick this up for $60, add it to your collection, and it really does stand out on the shelf. I've actually got mine displayed just up there in between the Laughing Jack and I forget his name, Jeff the Killer. I often display it up there. But one of the main details I like on this mask is how they did the eyes, and they gave it sort of a very well worn in look. It does actually have a pretty sick blood streak going across the face there. I really do apologise about the lighting. I've got low energy bulbs in this room. I really need to replace them to get some brighter lighting, but I will show you more towards the end of the video in extremely bright lighting just so you can see it better. But I wanted to do it in the collection room. And then obviously he's got all these pipes and rods that are actually movable pieces. So if you were moving around in the costume, you would be able to see that. I feel as if the back of the mask, especially towards the bottom here, is where this mask is lacking, which is what I was referring to earlier on when I said this mask could do with some work. I feel as if you were wearing this, the back sort of takes away from how good the front looks. But from the side profile, this thing looks great. It looks pretty much identical to how he does in Dead by Daylight in the video game. The teeth on this thing are pretty well done. I think it would have been better if they used some actual hard, maybe some plastic teeth or resin or something like that to stick in. That's what I've seen a lot of independent artists do. But like I said before, that would really drive the cost up of the mask, because the materials like resin obviously are not cheap and are more premium. But for just a standard sort of Halloween mask, there's nothing wrong with this at all. It does say made in Mexico on the stamp just behind the ear. I doubt you'll be able to see that too well, but I will show you that later on as well. But it's definitely a quality mask. I mean, I'd suggest picking it up. I mean, I don't know how well you guys are picking that up, but from the front profile and from the side sort of to about here and there, this thing really does look great, especially in darker lightings, because it shows all the shadowing, and the blood on the face of the trapper's mask does actually look extremely creepy. One thing about this mask I've noticed is that the way they painted it, it's made it look like the mask is made of sort of like a carved wood, more like the hag from Dead by Daylight. But there's nothing wrong with that at all. The back pieces do look like bone, which is what they're meant to be. They look pretty good. But this area, again, I feel is letting it down. It's got a split up the back, just so you can fit it over your head. And then obviously, if you don't know much about mask collecting, the hole that this hole punched is to stop the mask from ripping any further. So that is that. That's pretty much everything I can think of to cover this thing. It's got some deep set grooves, scarring on the trapper's skin there, and then his ear with more scarring through it. I mean, you would have quite a lot of scars if you'd had pallets slammed down on you constantly like you do in the game, and teabagged and flashlighted, etc. But I think this thing looks absolutely killer. I'll compare it to the video game cover. I mean, you can't really see it all too well, but this is a really good replica if you're sort of not looking to spend too much. But like I say, there are superior copies out there on Etsy if you did want to pick up something, more of a superior replica to add to your collection. But if you just want it as a display shelf piece and you don't want to spend sort of like $250, $300, £300, then this is the mask for you. I do really need to pick up the Doctor before he goes out of stock, because I've got a feeling that they're not going to be making any more Dead by Daylight masks, and it is really nice to actually have some proper sort of like life-size pieces from the Dead by Daylight video game. I do have some stuff from the merch store of Dead by Daylight. I have some coasters and things like that of the perks of some of the killers, and I do have a Dead by Daylight t-shirt, but I'm planning on picking up a few more things to add to the collection. I would like to eventually make a Dead by Daylight shelf, maybe on a bookcase on this wall that I still need to get. But yeah, this thing's really cool. I'd recommend picking it up. I picked mine up from madaboutHorror.co.uk, my go-to horror provider. They had this in stock last time I checked, but I did message them to ask them to import this from the US for me on their next Trick or Treat Studios batch order. Whether they still have some or not, I'm not too sure, but I'm not sure. I don't think they sold too well, which might be why Trick or Treat Studios potentially might revoke the license. But like I say, if you're interested, get over to madaboutHorror.co.uk or the Trick or Treat Studios website if you're in the US to save yourselves the cost of the shipping, and you should be able to find them there. If anyone is selling a Trick or Treat Studios Doctor mask in the UK, feel free to hit me up. If not, if you're in the US, hit me up and we can also maybe strike a deal if I don't manage to pick one up. But I'm sure if I do, you'll see me reviewing it on the channel and obviously posting it on the Instagram where I'm active daily. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. So I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll leave you with some close-up shots and some one-shots of this thing in action. And I want to say thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys very, very soon in the next video.